All right, we are live, completely impromptu. Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've live streamed. I've been keeping busy, getting all the videos scheduled and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you all had a great Christmas, happy holidays, all that kind of stuff. We say Merry Christmas in Australia still, just. Anyway, let's do this. So we're just going to double check to make sure all of this is working. Then we're going to get some caffeine, take some questions, all that kind of stuff. Let me just scroll down to my live stream. Looks like we are live, so we are good to go. All right, sound is good. If there's any issues with the sound or video, just let us know. And it looks like we are all good. So welcome, everybody. Again, I hope everyone had a great Christmas, all that kind of stuff. I'm batching it up at the moment here. Rhiannon's over in Perth, and I'll be over there soon. So we'll take the opportunity to do a few extra live streams before the end of the year. It's been a while, so thank you. Now, my comments will be here. Camera's over there as per always, but cheers, everybody. Let us know where you're watching from. If you are watching, I can put the comments on screen here. So we've got C, first one in. Welcome, mate. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. All right. Looks like we are in business. So, yeah, apologies for not live streaming that much over the last few months. It's been a bit hectic, as it always is this time of year. But we're going to get caffeinated. Just got back from the gym. Man, I tell you what, I trained for like 3 years straight. I had like 9 months off almost because of the torn forearm tendon. And within like, 2 months of training almost back to normal, like every third day, I'm almost back to full strength, which is great. So yeah, if anyone's got a goal to get in shape for 2025, do it. Definitely do it. I always feel way better when I'm training. Clears my mind, all that kind of stuff. Not to take away from the guitar playing, of course. You can do both. All right, Rowdy Myers, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Awesome stuff. Merry Christmas all. You too, Rowdy. I appreciate that. We got our Damien here as well. How you doing, man? It looks like a Les Paul you're playing in the avatar. Very nice. Very cool. Hey, we got John here as well. Yes, we live sound video is good. Thank you, mate. Thanks for all the support this year as well. Thanks for modding the chat. And I don't know how many people will join in. It's kind of random time of the day. It's 3:39 p.m. here. So I thought, why not? We'll go live. A little caffeine, followed by a little water. It's a deadly combination. John says he's watching from the lounge room. Very cool. Mate, I was very impressed to see that you were jamming. So, well done. That's awesome. I've already started working on a few new video ideas for, well, I guess to round out this year, but also for next year. I'm putting together a couple of new ideas. So, one I've just filmed, and it will hopefully encourage myself to work on new stuff, but also everyone else, and talk about the process a bit as well. I'm practicing my English with your live stream. I don't know if that's a good thing. The Australians, I'm not sure how great our English actually is, but no, I'm only joking. No, that's awesome. That's great. You know, when I was young, I had an opportunity to learn another language, and I thought it wasn't going to be useful long term because I was a kid and I was stupid. So I should have learned a little bit more. I would have loved to have learned 2 languages, long story short. Properly, at least, anyway. I'm in shape. Round is a shape, isn't it? Yeah, man, I was getting that way for a while too, but I'm finally getting back to feeling good. That's what it's all about. You got to balance out your day the best you can, or make time for the stuff. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he's like, "Oh, I've got to get doing some more." I won't say who it is in case it drops in, but he was like, "Oh, I got to start doing more stuff." And I said, "Mate, look at it like on a weekly thing. You know, it's 5 hours a week. It's not much. You can make it. You can fit it in if you really want to." So we'll see how it goes. Hey, we got Zach here. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. Awesome. I'm just going to move these comments in a little bit of an easier spot here. Let me do this. All right, cool. No, that's still in the way. My microphone. There we go. That's better. All right. Kevin says he's just laying in bed doing nothing. Fair enough. Everyone has those days, man. It's all good. Blistering Melbourne day. Change of strangers. Welcome, mate. Strangers. I think I've been saying your name wrong for years. Oh well, that's what happens, I guess, when you're reading more about the comments here. I just realized it's not changer strangers, it's change strangers. Hey, bought a pedal from Dr. Rick a couple of weeks ago. Strymon El Capistan. Oh, very cool, man. Yeah, he did say he sold one of those, and he was spotted. So very cool. He takes great care of his stuff, so I'm sure you'll love it. I didn't know he had. Did he have? Is he? Yeah, the Strymon stuff's like pretty great. I know he's got a few different Strymon pedals, so they make some great sort of time-based effects. I think are their strength, and the Iridium. I love that amp simulation pedal thing. It's great. Very good, man. Very cool. Zach says, a couple of years ago, I used to be at the gym. Last few years, I've been doing my workouts all at home. Yeah, a lot of people have a hard time getting motivated to work out at home. I'm one of those guys. I find I can get out and go for a walk, no problems, but I find it distracting being here because it's also where I work. There's always something else that can be done. So I leave the house, I go to the gym, and for me that makes the most sense. It allows me to kind of I got no excuse. You're there, you paid for it, you got to use it or do something. So but if you can do it at home, mate, hats off to you. That's fantastic. Dewey says, I'm at work right now. Man, no time off for you, huh? That's just brutal. Any movement on the guitars, Shane? Anything gone from the collection? There's nothing gone from the collection. I've kind of been on the fence about it, man. One, for starters, I haven't made time to list them online. And two, I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to get rid of the ones I thought I was going to sell. It's like a few people have said, oh, you're never going to find one of those V's again. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, they're just not around. Like, Gibson aren't making them anymore. They do them in batches every now and then. And I kind of like the stuff I've got. I'll definitely be flipping probably a couple of the sort of lower end ones. And I've also got that right-handed Enya guitar, the one with the speaker built into it, which is cool, but it's a right-handed guitar, so that'll probably go as well. But I'm not sure I'm going to sell anything right now. I kind of panicked because I know I have to move at some point in the first couple of months of next year, maybe by March at the latest kind of thing. Yeah, and I was like, I want less stuff. But yeah, I don't know if that's a smart move, sort of like impulse selling stuff. So we'll see. So right now, no. I'm probably just going to take a cold shower with the selling of the guitars, at least anyway. I'm probably going to move some amps. I feel like I got too many amps. There's a whole lot of them doing nothing. Yeah, so I just really need to put it aside a full day, take photos of everything, and really think about what to move on. So as of right now, I haven't sold any. But let us know if you want anything, mate. You could use another guitar. All right, so yeah, anyone get anything cool for Christmas guitar-wise? Let us know. We got Mac Sixtyfive here. Wollongong hit 35 today. Bloody warm for Wollongong. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, we had, I think it was 34 or 35 for Christmas Day here. The day before that, was it the day before or after? I'm a bit confused now. It got to like 40 degrees here too, so it's insane. Yeah, it's for those who live overseas watching, that's like close to like 97, 98, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. All right. Hey, we got John from Texas. Welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. Ado says Mustang GTX or Katana Mark III. I'd probably say the Katana's a better overall amplifier now than the GTX. just in terms of if we're talking about strictly sound quality, I would go for the Katana. I also think it's probably a better amp in terms of its layout now. Like, it's just easier. You got that dial. You can just dial in a clean tone, dial in a crunch tone. It's just a bit overall a bit easier, and it stops you from fiddling with the phone as well, which is always a good thing. So I'd probably say that. The GTX is still a great little practice amp, and if you're not sure what kind of sounds you like yet, that's a great choice because you've got everything. But it can also be overwhelming. But if you're a fan of Fender cleans, then the Fender will be the better choice. If you're a fan of like Marshall rock tones and that kind of stuff, or higher gain tones, that's where the Katana's going to get the edge. We've got been doing Christmas carols via my Mustang 3 and Artist 335 hollow body copy. Very cool, mate. Very cool. Mustang 3, man. I'd love to try one of them again. I really regret getting rid of mine. A friend of mine's still got one. I'll see if I can maybe pinch it off him for a couple of days. I had a QC and Kemper. End up returning the QC. Something about the Kemper is magical. Mate, I totally agree. Is that the quad Cortex? Is that what that is? The Kemper's ridiculous. It's so good. I've got a video coming up. I'm going to release it tomorrow, most likely now. But I tried to replicate a tone, and it sounded so good. And it's because it's the real amp sound and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you'll hear that coming up. But man, the Kemper is so good. It's, again, completely transformed my workflow when it comes to reviewing guitars. I can plug in and get my sound. I love it. The Kemper's the best. The quad Cortex I haven't actually played, so I'm not going to say it's not good or anything. I just haven't used it personally. We got NoBuzzliteBEER. It says, good afternoon, trendsetters. I like your little avatar there, mate. That's awesome. Welcome. I have P90 Les Paul in my sights. I always wanted Les Paul with P90s. And I'll tell you what, most of them, unless you're getting a gold top, lighter than a lot of the humbucker versions, especially like the specials and all that kind of stuff. If you can find one of them, they're definitely a lot lighter than conventional Les Pauls. And I kind of like the look of them too. The yellow's pretty wild. So that's awesome. John says, extra guitars don't take up that much room. Hang on to stuff until you're really sure you don't want it anymore. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm a bit on the fence with all of them, to be honest. I used to have this rule where I didn't want more than, it's a crazy rule doing what I do, but I don't like more than 10 guitars in the cupboard. Stuff just doesn't get used as much as it should. But you've just, yeah. We'll see what, I also don't really know where I'm moving yet. That's the thing. Like, I might have more space. I might not have less. But until I know that, I might just be selling stuff and then going, man, I should have kept that. So, yeah, we'll see how it all goes. But you're right. They don't take up that much room. I just feel like once you start getting more than 10 guitars, like the cases, all that kind of stuff. Like my whole walk-in wardrobe over here is completely full on one side, and it just feels like a lot of stuff. Amps are also a problem too, because they take up floor space. There's nowhere you can really put them other than the floor, unless you got a rack for them. And I've actually got a few of those racks. I use them on my other channel, but I've got the two other ones in the garage here, which might actually get converted into some type of new YouTube set thing if I've got enough space. Again, I have no idea. It might just be the poster wall again. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm also slowly, I don't like giving stuff away too much, but I'm also planning on doing a whole lot of new content for next year. I feel like it's, yeah, I've been doing the same type of stuff for a long time. You've probably seen a tone shift in a few of the videos. I'm going to make it a bit more fun. Just bring back a bit more sort of like less produced videos as well. So stay tuned. There's going to be some fun and different things popping up on the channel over the course of, well, since the last couple of weeks at least anyway, moving forward. So stay tuned. Some of this stuff might not happen till mid-year, but the planning stages have started. So yeah, we'll see how we go. And again, I don't know if I will be selling anything or not, but We'll see how we go. All right, Max says, Shane, relicking, heavy relicking, and you're just damaging your instrument with your... Yeah, I don't really care too much for relicking in terms of I'm not offended by it. Like, I think it's different if you relic your own guitar poorly, like I tried many years ago. Actually, that looked all right in the end. Once I added the dark sort of stains to it, it looked pretty cool. But I think some of the best guitars I've played are the relicked, and although that doesn't really impact the sound, the feel of the guitars like on another level. The Fender relic necks are unbelievably good. They really are. They feel like a completely different Strat than, you know, I don't have a problem with the satin necks either, but if you compare them up to like the vintage tint necks that can sometimes be a bit sticky, the relic necks are beautiful to play. So yeah, I'm not offended by it like a lot of people are. I think a lot of people they can't accept that people like different things. I'm not one of those guys anymore. I couldn't care less. Hey, number 4, welcome back, mate. Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays to you too. Merry Christmas. All right. I think you should have a good relationship with your guitar, not have your guitar hate you. Yeah, well, the guitar's an inanimate object, so maybe. I think you've just got to enjoy playing them. It's that simple. If you're not enjoying the guitar at all, that's when it's a good time to sell them for sure. Told a guy on Facebook Marketplace that I decided not to buy any more guitars this year, but my lawyer says it's unenforceable. Is that what that says? Unenforceable. Sorry, man. I'm blind. So I'm seeing him on Monday. Very cool. Mate, you're a madman. I think John might have the biggest guitar collection out of everybody on here. I could be wrong. I don't know everybody's guitar collection, but it'd be right up there. The only neg on the cats is the lack of screen on the amp. Oh, on the the Katanas. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean the idea of those amps, I guess in a way, like obviously can be hooked up to USB. You've got all those extra things you can bring in terms of sound, but I think their strength is the ability to just change sounds without using all of that stuff. That's definitely one of the strengths. It's also a limiting factor if you don't want to hook it up to a computer or pay for the Bluetooth dongle. So, yeah. If that's not what you meant, let us know. I'm not good with abbreviations sometimes. John says, I have a 2000s American Standard Strat. Very cool, man, with a Delta tone pickup system. How are they different to most Fender Strat pickups? Are they any good? You know what? Delta tone pickup system. I don't know. I don't know what that is. The only thing that's kind of ringing a bell in my mind is maybe they've got some sort of tone circuit that notches into a place and it bypasses it. But I'm not 100% certain that's it. I know Fender did that in the early 2000s where they had these tone pots you could kind of like set in a position and it would essentially bypass it, giving you a brighter sound overall because it's going through less stuff. But I don't know if that's actually it or not. That could be something that someone can look up and I'll share it on screen. But John, yeah, I'm not too sure, mate, but it sounds like a cool guitar. I mean, the American standards have always been great, and the 2000s are pretty cool too. So awesome. I bought myself a Boss ME90, having a bit of fun with it. Very cool, man. Hang on, I have to look this up. Let me work out what that is. Boss ME90. Here we go. Actually, you know what? Can we do this? Oh, very cool, man. Yeah, I'll share this with the folks here. Let's, oh, man. Can I share this? Oh, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Sorry. ME90, very cool. I can see it, but I'm not sure it's going to share. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Anyway, we'll let it go for now because I'm going to spend 5 minutes trying to get this to work. But congrats, mate. It's a multi-effects sort of pedal by the looks of it. Very cool. I don't think I've actually tried one of those. They look good. Lounge, small practice amplifier. What do you reckon? Vox Pathfinder. That's a great amp. Or something else. I have to sit behind the couch or on the shelf. I did a video on like practice amps that are small enough to put on a desk. There's plenty of great ones out there. So check out my like best practice amplifiers video. They're all essentially small amps. You can dial in. It just really depends on your budget as well. You got the Spark Go, the new X Mighty Light amp, that little BT light. Those things are unreal. For $100, they're like almost impossible to beat. The Vox Pathfinders are fantastic as well. They really are. It just sort of comes down to what kind of user experience you like. But if you can find one of those Pathfinders with the R on the end on the used market, pick it up. They're unreal. They've got the reverb circuit in there. You can power a much larger amplifier. The Mighty Space from NUX is also another killer amp. It's one of my favorites. Joyo make one called the Jam Buddy. I can highly recommend. That's right up there as one of the most practical things you get. Looks like a dual overdrive pedal essentially, but it's got a speaker built into it. It's got a clean, a drive, and a high gain channel with some analog delay. It's awesome. You can Bluetooth music to it, and that's it. Doesn't have any digital stuff. The Jam Buddy is still one of the best sort of like small practice amps if you just want to get playing without fiddling with a million different things. So I could highly recommend that. What's my favorite overdrive and fuzz pedal? Thanks for the great content. Hey, thanks, James. Favorite overdrive of all time is still the Royal Flush dual overdrive from VS Audio. Like, that thing is just unreal. My favorite clon style pedal is the Shelly Pony Boy. It's not spelt like it sounds, but just type in Pony Boy overdrive, it'll come up. I think they're still the best value clon pedal on the market. They're really good. I love tube screamers every now and then, like the Maxon Overdrive Pro. But my main, I've had the same stuff on my pedal board for years, basically, except for the delay pedals and sometimes a second drive stage. But the Royal Flush has been my go-to overdrive now for years, and it's still my favorite. It's just so musical. It's simple. It's basically like a higher gain channel on one side and a lower gain channel on the other. And that can pretty much do everything for me. I really love it. It's a bit more balanced than a lot of pedals, which cut your sort of top end off or cut your low end off. Yeah, it's really, really musical. In terms of fuzz pedals, I'm not really much of a fuzz guy. Like Dazzletronics in Australia makes a killer fuzz pedal. I think, like, if you're thinking about getting into, I mean, there's plenty of different prices that actually come to think of it. There was one called, obviously the Big Muff is great, but if that's out of your budget, there's one called the Fuzz. I think it was called the Fuzz Move from More. I think the brand was. I can't remember, but it was great. It was like a really good pedal. If you're balling, get the Kernum fuzz pedal. It gives you all of them, every circuit ever, and you can make it sound like every fuzz pedal. That would, if you can get the vintage thing, you can get the circuit that kind of like falls off as you're playing, the ones that kind of feel like the voltage is running out. It will do the Big Muff thing. It will do all the fuzz tones you've ever heard. And that's from Kernum. And that would be a great choice if you've got a bit extra to spend, but you want all of the versatility of, you can basically get every fuzz pedal in one, and it's easy to use too, which is cool. I'm not much of a fuzz player, especially in the live mix. I find like they don't feel as good to play or sound as musical, or they don't cut the mix as well as a lot of overdrives necessarily, but yeah. All right. Fender Strat Eric Johnson 2008 or AV 257. Man, those Eric Johnson Strats are great. I mean, you most likely probably pick that up for less than one of the. Yeah, you just play them both, man. It's one thing to say, yeah, get the old one, but you've really got to play guitars if you can and get a vibe on them, because you might like one way more than the other, and they're both great. So you're not going to have too much of an issue there whatsoever. The Eric Johnson Strats, I think, are some of the most underrated Strats from not only that era, but anytime I've seen them, they're great. They really are nice. I got to pick one up in, I think it was Mega Music in Western Australia about a year ago. No, 2 years ago almost now. And it was great. So, yeah, they're really nice guitars. They've got like a V-neck, soft V-neck kind of feel. Good set of pickups. I can't remember what the frets were like on there. But, yeah. Can't go too far wrong with the new Strats either. Like, you know, I was kind of hanging it on Fender for re-releasing the same guitars every year. And I have tuned out from it a bit. But the guitars are still great. If you've not got like any of them, then you're going to be happy with it for sure. Hey, we've got a super chat here. Thank you, mate. I'll get back to everybody's comments here. Hey, thank you, Mac. I appreciate it, man. For the channel, Shane, and for your new ideas for it next year. Hey, thank you, mate. Thanks for the support. And again, thank you, everybody, for the support with the channel. Yeah, it's I'm sort of shocked it's still going. But this is what it's all about. I think it's, you know, trying new things, keeping it fresh, and doing all that kind of stuff. It's something I haven't been doing as much as I would like. I always try to bring in new things, like the Guitar Shop walkthrough series, Guitar Search Saturdays, was the first of its kind. I think I was one of the first doing a podcast back in the day too. Now everybody does those as well. So I'm trying a few new things moving forward, and I just want it to be fun and enjoyable for people watching, and also from the creator's perspective as well. You know, I've been doing the same sort of format videos for a long time when it comes to certain reviews and all that kind of thing. It's time for a change. So, yeah, there might be some teething problems along the way, but I'm going to try definitely bring you some more content. And much like that video I was talking about, digital modeling amplifiers walking around, I'm going to do more stuff outside in 2025 just to mix it up. It's very refreshing seeing the sun. Or at least while it's summer anyway. If it's warm wherever I am, at least I got the opportunity to do something like this, you know, out in the sun. It's awesome. So thank you, mate. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Let's scroll back up. Where were we? Got me a new Tele Mexican. All I need to do is flip the plate and pot a little 59 pickup in it. Very cool, mate. Congrats. Awesome. Cool, cool. The wardrobes in 3 bedrooms here are all full of guitars. I'm going to have to rebuild the big rack I used to have in my apartment, get them all out again. Mate, that is crazy. Maybe we should... my friend Dave's obviously got a lot of guitar equipment, but I think you might be topping him, mate. That's crazy. Bluefoot says, "Hi Shane, Merry Christmas. Glad I found your channel. How tubey is the Bandit Trans Tube? I know you like it, but it's one vibe, or do you really think it gets tubey tones?" It is a little bit different, but it's great. Like Brian and I used them without pedals a couple of weeks back live, and it was unreal. Like no one cared about the tone. The tone was fine. Although we have replaced the speakers, I think adding the Texas Heat to the Bandit made a huge difference to the feel of the amp, especially in that sort of lower mid-range where some solid-state amps can really struggle, but I love it. I reckon it's great, and if you use pedals, or even if you don't, you can make it work. It's a great sounding amp. It's never going to sound exactly like or feel exactly like a tube amp, but I find it sort of like nicer in some ways. At lower volumes, it sounds better. It's got the T dynamics, so you can make the clean channel break up by turning the T dynamics to the left, and it feels great. So yeah, I mean, I've been sort of like an advocate of those amps now for like 17 years. I think it was the first time I ever posted a video on YouTube was 17 years ago, and it was of a Peavey Bandit, and I'm still a fan of them all these years later. If I wasn't, I'd say so, but they're great, and it's kind of like it's one of those things too where it's easy to get a great tone out of some expensive amps anyway, some obviously not, but I love that I can make or have a better tone than most people in a room with a Peavey Bandit. It's kind of makes me feel good. So yeah, I love those amps, man. Yeah, mine's right down there. The Peavey Bandit's plugged in. Yeah. Is that the grease bucket system? Okay, so that's what I was thinking of. You're right. So, yes, that was in relation to Fender circuit we were talking about earlier, which I didn't know. So I'm not too sure. That means I have no idea what that is. Thanks for the clarification there, mate. All right, I'm just going to move these comments again over to here. Sorry, guys, I'm really slow getting through everybody. I'm trying my best. Hey, Michael, how are you, man? Hope you're well. Would you buy the AC15 again? Seems very underrated amp. Yeah, they are great. I would prefer to use sort of like the AC15s for... I mean, you can use them for any style of music, no questions about it, but they're got a great sort of crunch rock sound. It's also great for country and all that as well. I love those kind of tally tones. You pair a tally with a Vox and you're laughing. But I don't know if I'd ever make it my primary amp, but in the back of my mind, I'm kind of like, I could probably get an AC10 or something at some point for the studio. Those are cool. Those are really cool. But great amps. I still love the sound of Vox amps in certain situations, but in other situations, they can sound way too bright. So you've got to kind of crank them. Number 4 says, any news from Jerry? He's still selling his inventory ETA on... Oh, so no ETA yet. He did say it would be this year. I'm probably anticipating it will be in the first... I'm hoping the first quarter of this year, but no. I'll find out. I'll see if I can get a... shoot him an email and see if I can get a rough ETA, and I'll share it on the next one. But I'm sure he'll... Yeah, I know he hasn't done much on his website, but I'm sure once he knows when it'll reopen properly, he'll have it. He's got a huge job. He had a huge job ahead of him, so it's probably taking a lot longer than he thought, based on the fact he's a builder, so he's doing most of it himself, which is crazy. But yeah, no new update since last time. I should email him, actually. It's been a while. Hey, Shane's here. Welcome, mate. Very cool. Thanks for joining in. Hope you're doing well. I just bought a Roland Blues Cube Artist as a delayed Christmas gift for myself. Very cool, mate. It's either that or the Tone Master Bassman or Quilter Aviator. Yeah, I think that's a great little amp, man. I mean, you can use them very much like the Peavey Bandits. They're just loud enough for rooms, and they're convenient and all that kind of stuff. So take pedals well. Yeah, I don't know about the Quilter stuff. People rave about them, but I haven't tried them enough to really work out whether or not they're any better or if they're just the new thing, you know. So I need to get my hands on them at some point. Unfortunately, the guy that sells them in Australia is a bit of a numbnut, so I'll be trying to find them off someone I know at some point or something like that. We'll see how we go. All right. Laney Lionheart 60-watt pedal amp. Very cool. I haven't tried those. Actually, I need a drink. One sec. Just break out some water here. Here we go. Fender's Delta tone system includes a combination of several items, including a slightly hotter bridge pickup and a modified tone circuit. Okay, cool. Oh, here we go. The no-load tone pot works like a standard tone knob from positions 1 to 9, but at 10 it's removed. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it does have that then. I knew something about that, but yeah, you're right. The grease bucket thing was also the same type of circuit. But I had no idea about the rest of this stuff here, so thanks, mate. Hey, Heidi, how are you? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. Just woke up. Hope you just woke up to see you have a live chat. Happy days. Yeah, it's been a while. It's probably been a few months since the last one. So thanks for joining in. I hope you're well. I like tube drivers more than tube screamers. It feels more saturated and creamy. Yeah, 100%. You know, it's funny with tube screamers. A lot of people don't like them on their own. Like if you just hear a tube screamer plugged into an amp, a lot of people go, I don't sort of get it. But when you play it out, you go, now I get it. I can actually hear myself. And it's doing things in the mix or with an amp at a certain volume that other pedals just don't do. You might get the boosted mid-range really helps. So yeah, it's super cool. All right, I'll just scroll down a little further here. I'm a little behind the chat. So if I missed your question, just add in the blues me and I'll put it up. Hey, thank you, man. NoBuzzliteBEER just became a member. Hey, appreciate that, mate. Thank you. That's awesome. Sorry, I didn't see that until now. I'm on a program that's not directly on YouTube. It's this Ecamm thing. And it tells me in text that something happened, but not like I don't get notified of it necessarily. I should probably have my live stream open, but I appreciate that, mate. I'm going to start posting more members videos. Actually, like the one I did the other day. I usually do Patreon and members and then unlist it and then share it on the feed, but it hasn't been reaching everybody. So I'm just going to start uploading more to that this year, like as well as. So yeah, thank you again. Appreciate the support. You got access to some emoticons and a bit of behind the scenes stuff, all that kind of thing. So yeah, thank you, mate. All right, let me just, I want to see if I can see this on here. Live, sorry. There. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, cool. Thank you. I do see it on the, I'll keep the YouTube chat box open as well. Thanks for that, mate. Awesome stuff. Hey, Quentin James, is he? Or is that you? Guitar Talk Universe. Oh, I must have missed it. All right, let me see if I can find him. What's my favorite blues driver or BD like pedal? Any favorite pedals? Later era Beatles tone. Man, you'd be better off sort of getting like a later. I don't really listen to the Beatles, man. I don't really like them that much, to be honest. And I know that's like sacrilegious. I kind of find it irritating. I like some of their songs are obviously fantastic, but it's not a band I really like idolize in terms of sound and all that kind of stuff. But to my knowledge, like you'd probably be best suited trying to find a pedal that does like the Vox sound. That would be my 2 cents with that. They're well known for playing Vox amps, real chimey sort of rhythm stuff. Just get like a Vox in a box kind of pedal. You could, depending on your budget, just check those out. You should be good. Been following your channel for a while now and like the casual and chill atmosphere. Always enjoy supporting fellow Aussie guitarists. Hey, thank you, mate. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like, I said this on a couple of videos, like I kind of tuned out from the majority of the YouTube channels. Just a few of them now that I watch. The ones that don't scream at the camera. They're the ones that I enjoy, or if they've got something interesting to say. I'm not. Yeah, there's so many people that are screaming at the camera now. And I'm like, what's happened? What? Just is there any like normality left in the niche? It's crazy. It's crazy. So a few of the OG channels I've been supporting for years, I still follow them, but yeah, I've just sort of switched off. It's like can't watch more than, it feels like, what do they call it? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like a little bit on the sort of like OCD style video edits. Drives me crazy. Anyway, thank you, mate. I appreciate the support. Not many Australian guitar YouTube channels doing podcast streaming, Shane. Yeah, maybe not anymore. There's just not that many Australian YouTube channels anyway. But it's just you do something and then I've noticed many times when I've started doing a series of videos, it's like then everybody else does something very similar, or they take the idea. And this is normal. I mean, this isn't anything new on YouTube. It's just what happens. Everyone gets inspired by different people and things. It's just, yeah, I don't want to just talk about stuff because I've got to be like interested enough to want to talk about it, to want to put together a podcast. Otherwise, I'm just stopped. Same with anything. Same with pedal videos. If I could do pedal videos every day of the week. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm very selective. I'd rather just sort of space out the kind of content I'm making. And that's what a big part of next year will hopefully be for me. And also trying some new things as well. Hey, we've got Jose here. Welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, Merry Christmas, all that kind of stuff. Very cool. D-Mac says, choose everyone. I'm in a different time zone for the holidays and saw this. So stopping by. Usually I'd be sleeping by now. Eastern time, North America. All right, very cool, mate. Thanks for joining in. I know it must be getting late there now. And by the way, folks, if you can, leave a thumbs up. We've got 22 thumbs up, 71 people watching as of me saying this. So, yeah, all that stuff really helps. I've said it on the podcast. I feel like a lot of people watch and comment, but leave a thumbs up too. It really does help if you can be bothered. What was that crazy guitar you played at Elwood Blues Club along with my mate Johnny Harpo? F-hole looking thing. Oh, the Kiesel. It would have been the Kiesel. Yeah. Just type in the blues Kiesel. It will come up. It's great. It's my favorite guitar. It's an absolute monster. All right. Max. Oh, sorry. He's saying hi there. Hey, we've got a Dead Horse from Peru. Welcome, mate. I like your little avatar there. That's funny as. Max says, PV trans tubes do not sound like tube amps. Oh, man. People go on about this sort of stuff, but of course, it's not a tube amp, but it sounds so good. It's so easy to dial in a great sound with that amp. It really is. Any of them. I haven't tried all of them, obviously. They go back a long time, but the ones I've tried, I have no problems with them. It actually got to the point where I was thinking, man, I could actually flip one of my tube amps and just use this, because what's the difference? In the context of a live mix, the difference is... How do I find all those left-handed guitars? Well, a combination of ways, but I'm lucky. My local shop have a lot of lefties, which is one thing. And I used to have alerts set up for them on eBay and all that kind of thing as well. And I don't really have them anymore. But I just check every now and then. I look for stuff, see what's around. I used to visit a lot of guitar shops, not just one. So I'd see things and pick up guitars from here, there, and everywhere. So it's a mix of things. A couple of them years ago I bought from overseas. Just got lucky, walked into a couple of different shops. The Guitar Attic in Florida was one of those times where... Actually, I bought 2 guitars from Randy. So, yeah, there might only be 1 or 2 in there, but they're the ones you're looking for. So you just got to keep an eye out for stuff, and sometimes things just show up at the right time. That's a big part about how my collection is where it is. It's just getting lucky, and I'm a tight ass, so I don't want to pay retail price for any of these guitars. So I usually have scored good deals on stuff to the point where I'm like, that's a great deal. And it made sense at that moment. And yeah, so it's just a bit of luck. A lot of those guitars I've had for a long time too, so they're not all new, or yeah. I'm just like, yeah, a bit lucky, but I've also traveled to Jerry's Lefty Guitars. I've been to a whole lot of shops that sell, a decent amount of lefties, and his shop's arguably the best, but yeah. I just bought a Champion 250. I like it a lot. Very cool, man. Didn't really need it, but I did. Yeah, that'll also happen a lot with stuff. That usually happens with me with amps. Don't really need it, but did. That's kind of like the actually the Peavey Classic that I bought a while back. That's an amp I've wanted for years, since I first heard it. It took a long time to find it, but it was the right price and it sounded great. I was like, done. Now it sits here. All right. I just picked up a 94 Squier Strat for 50 New Zealand dollars. Oh, awesome, man. Trying to get rid of the slight back bow, but the end washer nut just came off. Quality is way better than 20-year-old made in Mexico Strat. Okay, very cool, man. That's awesome. 94 Squier Strat. Is that a... Is that a gold? Is that the one with the gold logo? Or is that even... Does that go back to like the made in Japan days? That's cool, man. For that price, it's crazy. And I guess even if you can't kind of recover the neck, if for some reason it doesn't work, you've still got yourself a bargain. I mean, you can have the neck replaced. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Mr. Orange says, just picked up 94 Japanese Squier Strat. Oh, no, hang on. What? Ah, there you go. So that's the same guy. That makes sense then. Japanese Squier. So that was my guess. Very cool. You've posted twice, but the second one made more sense. Very cool. All right, let me scroll down. Was getting microphonics out of V1 of my DeVille earlier. Touched the shield of a coax coming off it. Felt it. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. That sounds dangerous. It's nice to see a left-handed guitar in YouTube. Probably were the first person to share info on the Lefty Silver Sky SE. Yeah, I mean, out of the channels, I guess I might have been. They asked me to, like, I shot that video of the guitar, I think, a month prior to the video going up. There was like a date they wanted it out. I said, yeah, that's fine. But I don't know why it mattered at the end of the day, but yeah, sometimes when things come out as a lefty, I'll make mention of it. I feel like there's quite a big lefty community out there, even though it's only a small portion of the percentage of people playing. It's still large enough, and a lot of the lefties are sub to the channel. I see it all the time. So, yeah, sometimes yeah, if something looks cool, I'll make a quick little video about it ahead of time, and yeah, then I got to actually get one in my hands, which was cool too. So thank you. Have I ever bought righties and swapped the strings at intonation? Nah, never. I never enjoyed that. I know a lot of people can play like that. Every time I've played a right-handed guitar upside down, I'm forever rolling my forearm over the volume and tone controls. You can't see the dot markers on the neck. It's a nightmare for me. And the funny thing was, Texas Blues Alley Anthony posted a video. He made the Hendrix Strat. He converted a lefty into a righty. He gave it like 2 weeks and he sold it. It's the worst mistake you can make if you're not used to playing upside down. Now there's Eric Gales and a bunch of dudes who grew up playing that way who are used to it. But if you're used to a conventional guitar like I was, the only guitar I did flip was an acoustic. It was a Dreadnought. It made no difference. And it wasn't an electric one. It was just, like an acoustic guitar. This was years ago. It's one of my first ones. But that was easy. I think the guy at the shop did it for me. But that was it. I'm not interested in the reverse guitar body. It looks weird. It feels awful for me. And you're actually sacrificing playability. Like, it's harder to get up to the end of the fretboard because of the way a lot of the guitars are shaped, especially if you're playing a Telecaster. Imagine that upside down. It'd be a nightmare. I don't mind looking at people playing guitars that are upside down. I think visually it's kind of cool, but yeah, it's not something that I'd rather just find one that I don't have to think about. It's hard enough already. Hey, Nathaniel, welcome, mate. He says, loved your guitar ranking video. Question on tele since you're an aficionado. Oh, I love that word. Thank you, mate. I have a 50s classic vibe and want to upgrade. Should I get a different Fender neck or a whole new guitar? Now, I tell you what, the body on that guitar isn't necessarily that different to a lot of higher-end Fender guitars. It's probably technically a different finish or something like that, but yeah, the neck on the classic vibes is definitely its weak point. I would say one or two things. First, I like the classic vibes, so don't get me wrong, but they're heavy. They're way too heavy. You can find a much lighter combination of, a Telecaster out there if you do some research on it. And you might pick one up that you just like a whole lot more. If you're looking for a thicker neck as well, that's the other sort of thing with classic vibes that aren't great. They've got a really thin neck. And they also got a sticky neck compared to some guitars. So I actually ended up sanding mine down. Now, I still think they're a great value tally, but yeah, if those things bother you, sell it, trade it in, get another one, just get a different guitar. If your only complaint is the neck, then it would be cheaper to buy a different neck and put it on. Because those pickups are fine, and you can deck out if you wanted to change the pickups or the switch, you could do all that kind of stuff too. But I think those pickups are fine. I used to play with that guitar live, and they're great. So, yeah, sort of up to you as to which things you want to, how far you want to go with that. If you just want to sell it and get something else or whatever. Good thing about the Squier classic vibes, so they're easy to sell because they're great guitars. I just found mine way too heavy. I bought it because it was the only option when it was out at the time when I was traveling. It had a decent price for going to jams and all that kind of stuff. And I ended up keeping it for a few years, but yeah, it was just too heavy, and the necks, the profile on the neck was just too thin for me. What do the different stripe colors on the Bandits mean? Is one color preferable to the others? Basically, like every 3 to 5 years, they just release a new aesthetic on the amp. So a lot of them are the same. Actually, I shouldn't say that. A lot of them are similar, but they've, as like from the 80s to the 2000s, they added an extra channel. They added a different circuit here or there. They went from a spring reverb to a non-spring, like a digital reverb, essentially. There's a power attenuator switch on the back of some of them and not on others. So they continually sort of change the amps. It's in reference to the era of the amp. So you've got the red stripe ones. The teal stripe ones are actually older. They're one of the more older ones. You've got the silver stripe ones, which were in the middle of actually so teal, I think it was, silver, red, and then you start to get into those like modern Bandits, which gray stripe, is that what we're calling them? I can't remember. They're all okay. I mean, when I was playing in San Francisco many years ago, we had it was like a $50 teal stripe, teal stripe Peavey Bandit. That thing killed. Like, it sounded so good. I was using it with there's actually a video on YouTube from many years ago when I first bought my 52 reissue Telecaster. That was the amp I was playing. And with one cheap overdrive pedal, things sounded great. So, yeah, it's more in reference to the era or the model of that time. And sometimes they would do like a run of 5 years with the red stripe, but there's a couple of different variations, but they're all considered basically the same amp. All right, I'll just grab a quick drink. Finally able to find and purchase a Bandit 112 after searching for months. We live in Hawaii, so guessing limited inventory here. Paid US $250. Excellent condition. Dang, it's loud. Yeah, man, well done. That's great. Dan's Guitars is a great shop for secondhand stuff, and so is what's it called? Not Westside. Oh, Westside Music's also good, but there's Good Guys Music and Sound. That's the place. When I was in there were 2 or 3 Bandits. So what were they? Studio Pros. Studio Pros are like the smaller versions of them, but they're still great. That shop's fantastic. I've done walkthroughs of all of those shops as well. So congrats, man. That's cool. That's a little bit more than well, it depends on the model too, obviously. But I paid like $275, I think, or $270 for mine, the red stripe one, and that's Australian dollars. So I think that kind of works out to about 200 US. But 250 is not bad. It's depending on obviously its condition and all that kind of stuff. If everything works, you laugh at. They last forever, man. They're like bulletproof. Yeah, there you go. That's some great questions there from John. Hey Shane, great channel. I'd like your opinion on the VOX Valvetronix modeling amps. Thank you, mate. I don't know if I've actually reviewed any of them. Just let me double check. I sometimes forget. There's 3,000 videos. People go, oh, you can't remember. I'm like, man, 3,000 videos. VOX Valvetronix. Oh, actually, helps if I spell it right. Actually, let's just type in VOX, see what comes up. Well, I'll just go have a quick look. I don't remember doing those. So, no, I don't think I have. So, I'll tell you what, when I get back from Perth, like mid next month, I'll see if I can grab them from the shop. I haven't borrowed anything from Sky Music for months, so they'll be like, oh, I haven't seen you for ages. But I'll see if I can get my hands on them, man, and give them a go. Because, yeah, the Valvetronix stuff is popular, but yeah, not an amp I don't think I've showcased. Sometimes with these like digital modeling amps and stuff, the learning curve is huge and they take so much time to kind of like work out prior to shooting the video. But I'll do a bit of research ahead of time and make sure I know what I'm doing. Because, yeah, I think the benefit of a lot of these kind of amps is being able to kind of get your own sound out of them. So we'll go for that. But yeah, I'll see what I can do, mate. I'll put it on the list. Thank you. What blues driver style pedals do you recommend? There's not really like, get OD, the Boss blues driver is kind of great. Like, unless you don't like that, maybe have a look at something like the OD3. I think the OD3 is a better pedal. It's got more gain. It's a bigger sound overall. And as great as the blues driver is, the OD3 is probably my preferred pedal. I don't know if I've really played too many like Boss blues driver clones or anything like that. There's a few pedals that kind of do a similar thing. Like my Royal Flush is kind of similar to that, but it's, I think, more musical. It's not as bright either, inherently. It doesn't have like the same sort of sizzle on it. You can dial that in and out, of course, but yeah, blues drivers are kind of like, they're not as mid-heavy as a lot of, or some other overdrive pedals out there. So I'm not sure what you're looking to do. Like, I could rattle off a list of pedals, but it doesn't sort of help, I don't know, your budget or anything. So, yeah. But, I mean, you can find sort of like clones of this kind of stuff from like Kalen and Joyo and all these other brands. Goko, I think, was the last sort of inexpensive brand I tested. They make some great stuff too. All right. My backwoods Hendrix Strat, also neck dives due to weight of large headstock plus strap attached to shorter horns. Oh, there you go. See, that would be an absolute deal breaker for me personally. I would be like, I wouldn't be playing that for me. I'm just saying from my experience. If I was doing a project guitar and it was neck diving and it was balanced funny and I was always knocking the volume controls, I'd flip it up the other way and sell it. But I'm a weirdo. The American Specials are great. If you upgrade to a classic vibe, if you can find one, very cool. Mr. Owl, oh, that's cool, man. I mean, look, like I said, this is all personal opinion. Everybody likes different stuff, of course. So, yeah. I think if you're used to playing guitars upside down, you can make it work, but there's no need anymore. I feel like even when I first started playing, even back then, there wasn't much available in a lefty, but I could still find one. And this was before they became a lot easier to get. And my first guitar was a Squier Gold Series Strat. It was a red one. I ended up having Texas Specials put in there. It was a great guitar. Again, you sell stuff sometimes to upgrade, and you think, yeah, I should have kept that first one. That was really good. But yeah, and even the guy in the shop, oh, you should play right-handed. I'm like, I've already been playing left-handed on acoustic. Like, I can't change. No, change. It's going to be easier. And the funny thing with that is that same shop that said that to me, I bought 5 left-handed guitars off them. I bought my Gibsons, my Tokais. I bought a whole bunch of stuff from them over the years. So it changed very quickly, and I think lefties are now more accessible than ever before. And sure, you're not going to... This is the cool thing, too, about being a lefty. Like, you go into a guitar shop, I used to see it as kind of like depressing that I've only got a handful of guitars in here that I can play unless I'm at a specialty shop like Jerry's. But I kind of like that now. It doesn't... It's not as easy for me to get, like, oh, I've got to have all of these different... Like, it open up the world of guitars to me in a way that would be dangerous. I'm kind of happy. I've got... It forced me to get a good Strat. It forced me to get... Oh, I got a couple of great Telecasters. I got a Gibson. I'm like... I got my Tokai. And obviously the Kiesels came later. And they're my favorites. But I've got, like, great stuff. And I don't feel the urge to want to replace them necessarily. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'll sell these, but I never really feel like I'm gonna I'm missing out on anything. That's why I see the next lot of new guitars come through. There's a few lefties from whatever brands, and I'm like, my stuff's pretty good. And I'm happy with that. So, yeah, it'd be a lot harder if I was a righty. I think people who have way more options probably also buy way more. I mean, John's got a lot of guitars. He's a lefty, so maybe he can weigh in on that. Ed, welcome, mate. He says 80s Bandits weigh 70 pounds. New ones are feather light. 100%. Yeah, they're built. Those new ones are built completely different in terms of the cabs and the speaker quality and all that. Actually, the speakers aren't bad in the new ones, but yeah, they're much lighter. They removed the reverb tank in the latest ones as well. The old Bandits are built to last, and they're still going strong. There are two different types of speakers in the Teals. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that was another one where they probably changed them every few years or something like that. They were around long enough, I should say, where the next ones might have had a different black. What do they call it? What was the Peavey speaker? The black. Mine's unbranded on mine at the moment, but they got the Black Widows. Is that what they call it? Or is that a boogie one? I always get them confused. They got the Scorpion. They got I can't remember. In the red stripe ones, they're literally unbranded speakers, but they're fine. What kind of straps do I use? I've got a few. Nothing in particular is the quick answer. I've got really comfortable sort of. It's almost like a. What do you call it? So my favorite ones would be leather ones I've had for 20 years. Like, they're great. They're still going strong. You see them in a lot of videos. I actually just bought a couple of sort of, I don't even know what brand they were. One was brown, one was black. It's probably pleather, but they're really good. I've also got a whole bunch of those, like, what's the brand called? It's a Canadian brand. Levi's? I've got those as well. I've got a few Fender ones and one from... Actually, I've got my favorite ones from MJ Guitars. It's this beautiful leather one. It's comfortable as, but yeah, I just use whatever. I got a canvas Fender one. They're all those quick adjustment type ones. Yeah, I don't really spend crazy money on guitar straps. It's just whatever I think is good value at the time. There it is. That's Sheffield. You're right. So I'm getting confused with all the things. John says he also has a 90s Japanese Fender Strat. The quality of the CVs is so close. Very cool, man. Classic vibes are damn good guitars. Yeah, I agree. Especially when they were first out. I got that when the Australian dollar was parity to the US, so I paid $400. No, it was 300. I think it was like $349 US, and with tax and all that, it was great. I got it from a place in, I can't remember the name of the shop, but yeah, it was a great deal. And now I think they're like $800 here, which is crazy. But yeah, still solid guitars. And there's a couple of pros that use them on their tours here. I love Peavey Bandits, but the Bandit is the only amp that quit on me while on stage. It was a silver stripe one. It sounded great, but it was probably ready to die anyway. Sorry to hear that, mate. That's happened to me too with a few amps. Not with Bandits, but with valve amps. So yeah, it can happen. It's the unfortunate, truth of all electronics. You never know. What's my go-to delay? The new Boss DM101 analog delay is as good as they say it is. I haven't actually used that. The Boss delays are usually pretty good. I use one from... Actually, I've got two. One's from Chikalis Audio Works, which is a Greek company. Now, they sent that out for the review like years ago, and I'm still using it. So that's a Tilay. I'll type it in. It's Tilay. And that's an analog delay pedal with a tape emulation switch. It's brain dead simple. It's easy to get a great tone, and it sounds awesome. So that's one of them. And the other one I use is this. I'll just type it in. Crazy Tube Circuit's time delay, which is digital delay. It's got tap tempo, and it sounds great. I actually have a few other delay pedals, and delays are one of those things I'll sometimes cycle between a few different ones, but they're my most used two over the last few years. Analog delays, actually, Jux is another one. This French company make a really great delay pedal as well. It's called the Prisoner. Those three are kind of hard to beat. They're simple, they sound great, and they're dead silent in terms of their noise floor. So, yeah, they're really good. Yeah, Levy's. Yeah, that's the name of the strap company. Yeah, so I've just got a hodgepodge of a whole bunch of different straps. I'm not really that... I like them to be comfortable. The only requirement I have is that I don't want them to be sharp on the edges. If they're not sharp, or they don't dig in or anything, I'm good to go. I've been pretty lucky with my straps. I buy them usually if I'm like on a holiday somewhere, or, oh, there's a guitar shop. Oh, that strap's cool. Like, that's kind of how that that is. I've ended up getting so many, and a few have come in from, like, I think I've probably got a handful from events or guitar shows. I know Fender gave me one of their the one that says live music or support live music on there. That came from Fender. I don't remember how, but it was in... Yeah, I don't remember how I got that. But yeah, there's a few that have probably come from just been doing what I'm doing over the years too. Yeah, the Greek pedal builders, man. They're the best. They're killing it. All right, let me just scroll back up. Hey, Lucas. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. It's 4:43 p.m. here on a Friday, so we're getting close to the end of the year. We'll see if we can do one more live stream at a different time of the day. I just thought it's been ages. Should I do a live stream today or tomorrow? I thought, nah, I'm going to do it. Compressors are an underrated tool. I totally agree. The Keeley one's awesome, man. Keeley comp with my favorite overdrives, and it enriches the flavor. Yeah, the only slight downside to compressors is because they're bringing up the quiet parts. If you've already got a bit of a buzz in your signal, that can exacerbate that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you get the right compressor, there's a handful that I really like. That's one of them. The Cali 76, probably the best one I've ever used. But I mean, for the price difference, the Keeley's right there. It's great. Yeah, Matt says +1 for the OD3. I mean, they're so good. That's really all you need, right? Like the kind of... I put the... This is the weird thing. I tested one years ago. I bought one, actually, from a cash converter's place here. I got it for like $40 or something years ago. It stayed on my board for ages, and I sold it because I'm an idiot. And I finally tested another one again recently, and I'm like, these are so good. 3 controls, lots of great tones. What more do you need? So I can still recommend them. And the easier something is to get a good sound out of, the happier that I am. It's just like, I don't want to clone with 4 extra dials. Like, who wants that? If you want that, get a different pedal. Like, it should just sound great. And yeah, the OD3 still killer. It absolutely is. Hey, HeidiD. Hey, thank you. Far out. Thanks, Shane, for your YouTube channel. Oh, let's start that again when I can read. Thanks, Shane. Your YouTube channel is a great source for honest reviews. Hey, thank you. Man, that's the idea. I think that's... I appreciate it. So thank you. Thanks for the support all these years. Yeah, I think if it wasn't, it wouldn't still be around. Like, I sort of pride myself on showcasing stuff, keeping the focus on the thing rather than all, someone sent me this video the other day and I was like, at which point does the actual video start? And I was like, man, it's killing me. So I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. Thank you. I don't want to call anyone out, but yeah, I kind of feel like giving you perspective on gear is better than just showcasing it. I've always felt that, especially if you play live or even if you don't. It's like, what should I know about this? And sometimes I test stuff that I know, hey, this isn't for me, but I've still got reference points from other gear that I've tested, and I try to keep in context, like, Someone will love this sound. So what do you need to know about it? And it's always how I've tried to sort of showcase stuff. So thank you. Yeah, I do appreciate it. And that's crazy, by the way. That's euros, right? That's like 2,000 Australian dollars. Thank you again. All right. We might just have to take a quick break. Can we just got a, what do they call them now? And the cool kids call them like a bio break. Is that what they're called? I've got a bottle of water I've nearly finished and an energy drink I've nearly finished. It's a lethal combination. So we might, how long have we been going? An hour and 10. All right, what we'll do, just give me 30 seconds or a minute. I'll come back and we'll go for a little bit longer. I'm starting to fade. Yeah, I'm exercising again, so it's hit me all of a sudden, but I'll be right back. One sec. All right, we're back. Hopefully, hopefully the audio muted. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, sorry for that. All right. All right, let me scroll down. Hey, thank you, John. I appreciate that, mate. We got 58 thumbs up. Is the audio on? Check, check, check. I think we're good. Yeah, we've got 77 people watching, 58 thumbs up. That's a pretty good ratio, but can always strive for better. I should take that advice more. All right, let's see what we got here. Suhr versus Musicman Guitars. Who makes them better? Ooh, man, they both are pretty nice. The I've played more Suhrs that I like than I've played Musicman guitars that I like. But I haven't played enough Musicman guitars. That Suhr, if you like Fender, you'll love Suhr. They're kind of like, they've just made them better. Stainless steel frets, you know, roasted maple necks, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Musicman are doing their own thing, and it will either appeal to people visually or it won't. My friend Brian's got a Musicman guitar, a Cutlass, and a thing friggin' rocks. It sounds so good, and they're great guitars. I just find them visually a little small, like they're kind of like a smaller body. They're great, but they're just a bit on the... I don't like some of their pointy kind of shaped guitars as much as I like Suhr guitars. Suhr is probably a safer visual for a lot of people, I think, than Musicman is. But Musicman guitars are great, and they've got that noiseless single coil pickup system thing in there. It's not noiseless pickups, it's this system that cancels the hum somehow. I can't remember how they do it, but yeah, that's a tough one. I still think I prefer Suhr from what I've played over the last few years. They're a guitar I would buy, especially when it comes to, you know, while they've got their tallies and strats and all that kind of stuff, they've got the legacy. And that guitar's a monster. I still want it. The legacy's a beast. Yeah, Zachary says, based on what I hear, I have to say Suhr. Yeah, I'm leaning that way as well. I still think Musicman guitars are severely underrated. But if I was to buy one, I'd buy a Suhr. Yeah. Yeah. There's always exceptions to that, though. The Axis one I tried at Jerry's was from Musicman. That was killer. Anyway, audio is on. Thank you, mate. All right, Stephen says, hey, Shane from San Antonio, Texas. Not Antonio. That's great. Thanks for joining in, mate. I appreciate it. I got to get back to Texas at some point. That'd be super cool. Does that Hagerman amp get loud? It's only 12 watts. Seems like more of a recording amp or for small venues. That's pretty much exactly what it is. Yeah, it doesn't get super loud. It's not as loud as like my Fender Blues Deluxe or the Marshall. It's probably as loud as the Marshall at 20 watts. So what would that be like? Kind of like a cranked Princeton kind of thing, somewhere around there. And it also depends on the cab you're using it through, because a bigger cab can give you more perceived volume in the room. But yeah, it's not super loud. But for studio stuff or rehearsals or small gigs, you're going to be fine. I've used it live. I've used it for recording, but I've used it through the cab of the Marshall, through that Texas heat speaker. That's a great choice for that amp too. I really like it. But yeah, it sounds great. It's a killer amp. I should be using that more. Actually, I think I featured it in a pedal video recently, but yeah, it's got its own thing going on and it does it really well. Jim makes killer stuff. Oh yeah, the Musicman Albert Lee. Yeah. Yeah, so those kind of guitars are some of them are a bit too sparkly for me, or whatever you want to say. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Max says USA Musicmans are rare, but wow, played one once in shop. Yeah, they're great. You know, we went to a place in Germany once called Pro Music Tools, I think it's called, or something like that. It's a Guitar Search Saturday from years ago, and Rick played a few. It was the largest distributor of Musicman guitars in the Northern Hemisphere, or something like that. And they were beautiful. They had heaps on the wall. No lefties, unfortunately, at that time, but lots of great righties. And the Cutlass just, you know, I think Rick was playing like Riviera Paradise on it or something, and it was great. So yeah, if I can find that video, I'll link it down in the description after this. The sarcasm's awesome there, mate. That's the best. Now, you did that to me once, and I thought you were giving me crap. And I was like, man, everyone makes mistakes. And then I reread it. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's great. I make typos all the time. Yeah, far out. All right, looks like we're down at the bottom here. So that's cool. If anyone else has any last questions or whatever, let us know. Pete Thorns is a big Suhr player. He swears by them. I think he's a good judge of equipment. Yeah, he's a pro. I mean, he's a total pro player. So, dude can make anything sound good. That's kind of like the reality of it. Doesn't matter what he plays. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he knows his stuff. He's around gear all the time, all that kind of thing. He's good. I met him once, actually. He's a good guy. All right, we've got Rob from Boston. Welcome, mate. Thanks for joining in. I bet it's nice and warm up your part of the world at the moment. Yeah, it's like the exact opposite here at the moment. I actually got a bit of a tan going on. So it's what we call a farmer's tan. T-shirt down and neck up is all brown, but that's it. Yeah, I bet you it's getting kind of cold. I was on Steve from Boston's live stream the other night. They were talking about how it's starting to get pretty chilly up there. All right. Janice, hey, how you doing? Sorry, I think I saw your message right as I was about to head off for a break earlier. So welcome back. Hope you're doing well. You're doing Twitch and YouTube. Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, Twitch is something I used to get on there occasionally. A few of my friends used to live stream on there and stuff, but yeah, I haven't used Twitch in A long time. Yeah, I'm going to see if it's changed much, because back in the day, it was just literally, I think, video games. And then it's now, I think, almost everything, right? They're live streaming everything on there, much like YouTube. All right, very cool. Will I be gigging in Perth? Nah, no, none of that. I'll just be enjoying 40 degrees Celsius days. It's crazy hot there at the moment. It's 43 a few days in a row, which is mental. So, yeah, no, just taking a week or so off, doing some stuff with Rhiannon, her family, all that kind of thing as well. So, yeah, I'm going to shoot some videos while I'm out there, sort of like different ones. So stay tuned for that. But no gigs. I don't really like to gig. I like to do the jam nights and all that now. And if I do a host spot, that's fine. But the whole gigging thing, it's a lot of work for like a couple of hours of playing, and it just doesn't sort of balance itself out in any way. You got 4 guys playing who, you know, put a lot of money into equipment, and the kind of gigs we do for blues, you know, you're lucky to get $50, maybe $60, $70. Just doesn't seem worth it. You got to chase venues, and you get double booked. And so, yeah, Perth for me is like just taking time off, enjoying the beach and hanging out and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's good. Get out there once a year now. It's beautiful. I love Perth. I could move to Perth. I think it's expensive to like buy and rent over there. I think there's a very low inventory of stuff, but just in an ideal world, man, Perth is completely, it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's got it all. Ah, Twitch affiliate. Very cool. Nice. All right. I might have missed some questions earlier on when I ducked off earlier, but I'll take this one. Tackridge says, have you ever tried the Fender Acoustic SFX2 amp 2x100? I have not. I haven't tried that one. I haven't actually ever heard of that either. Acoustics, I don't really do much acoustic stuff anymore. And plus, it's so loud at this house with the traffic noise and stuff. I'm really unable to film and record acoustic guitars properly here. I'm hoping once the new studio shows up at some point, I might actually be able to start doing more acoustic guitars again. But yeah, it is what it is. But no, I don't know that amp. All right, guys, we might wrap this up. I appreciate everybody hanging out. If there's any last questions or whatever, let us know. But yeah, thanks again for all the support this year. I hope everyone had a good Christmas, and I'll try and get back on before the end of the year if I can. I'm going to be sitting around on my own pretty much for New Year's. No jams or anything this year, at least not yet. Sometimes one can show up last minute, but if one doesn't show up last minute, I'll do at least an Australian New Year's live stream or something like that. I might actually hook up my Kemper to the system here and we'll rock out and do some stuff. But I got a different video on the way, something completely different. So check that out when you get a chance. It should be up tomorrow night or something like that. And yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, I'm in Melbourne. Yeah. Oh, that's spewing. Yeah, keep an eye out for them. The Peavey stuff shows up more often than not. They really do. Hey, thank you, Charles. I appreciate the kind words, mate. Thank you again to the super chats here. We had Mac. I can actually pull these up easy on this app. So thank you, Mac. And thank you, Heidi. Thank you to John, the mods, everyone else. Thanks for joining in, everybody. Oh, we're back to the start of the chat. That doesn't make sense. Let's go down here. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great end of 2024. And if you live overseas where it's cold, keep warm. I'm definitely going to be posting some stuff on Instagram and maybe even on the feed about what's going on in Perth, because the weather over there, the beaches are crazy. It's so nice. Last time we were there was like dolphins and stuff. It's just unbelievable. It's so nice. And there's no cars anywhere. You pull up to the beach and there's like nobody there. It's like, what? I live in a big city. It's almost too big now. And yeah, it's something else over there. So thank you, John. All the best to you too, mate. Everybody, take care. And last one here, Scott says, yes, the Artist AP50. Very cool, mate. Beautiful. All right, take care. I hate when that happens. Take care. Have a good day or night, wherever you're watching from. And I will catch you on the next one. And if I didn't answer your question, you got something that I missed because I don't get all the chat things showing up here, just leave it on the regular comment section of the video and I'll reply if I timestamp this up afterwards. But thank you again. I'll catch you very soon. See ya. All right. Let me see if this plays while I work out how to finish the stream. It's been a while. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you again. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. All the best.